The $1,000 sat there like a test from God himself. 10 crisp $100 bills fanned across the white marble table, still warm from the billionaire's wallet. Her hand trembled over the money. Nobody was watching. The security cameras had been broken for 3 weeks. Her manager was in the back office, too drunk to notice anything. The other waitresses had already left. It was just her, the empty restaurant, and $1,000 that didn't belong to her. She knew it was a mistake. She'd watched the billionaire's hands shake when he got that phone call, watched his face crumble as he whispered, "How long does he have?" Watched him throw money on the table without looking, without counting, his mind already in whatever hell was waiting for him at the hospital. This wasn't a tip. This was an accident, and keeping it would be theft. But letting it go meant she and her daughter would be going to bed hungry that night. She had 30 seconds to make a choice. 30 seconds to decide who she really was when nobody was looking. What she did next didn't just change her life. She made a decision that would change her future and reveal a secret neither of them saw coming. But first, she had to catch a billionaire racing toward the worst night of his life. And she had exactly 9 minutes before he disappeared forever. If you're already feeling the gravity of Delilah's impossible choice, you need to stay with me. What she does in the next 60 seconds will either save her life or haunt her forever. Don't miss what happens next. The Gilded Trout was the kind of restaurant where people proposed marriage and closed $1,000,000 deals. Over $80 steaks. Delilah Crane had worked there for 3 years, long enough to know that the crystal chandeliers cost more than her annual salary and that most customers looked through her like she was made of glass. She wiped down table 7 for the 3rd time, her lower back screaming in protest. The orthopedic shoes she'd bought on credit were already falling apart, the insoles compressed into useless rubber pancakes. Her shift had started at 11 a.m. It was now 9:47 p.m. Her daughter, Iris, was with Mrs. Kowalski next door. Again, the kindly Polish woman never complained, but Delilah saw the strain in her eyes, the way she was getting older, more tired. "Table 12. Delilah?" snapped Gordon, the floor manager. Gordon was a thin man with a sharp nose and sharper words. He treated the waitstaff like servants in a medieval court, but he kissed up to the wealthy patrons with nauseating enthusiasm. "On it," Delilah said, smoothing her black apron. Table 12 was in the private alcove, the section reserved for VIPs who didn't want to be seen. She grabbed a menu and a water pitcher, her feet protesting each step across the dining room. The man sitting in the alcove made her stop mid-stride. She recognized him immediately. Everyone in Oregon knew. Fletcher Kensington. He was a tech billionaire who had revolutionized cloud security and sold his company for an obscene fortune. The business magazines called him the architect. He was 42, handsome in a severe way, with salt and pepper hair and eyes that looked like they could calculate your net worth in seconds. He was also crying, not sobbing, not making a scene. But tears were streaming down his face as he stared at his phone. His jaw clenched so tight the muscles jumped beneath his skin. Delilah hesitated. Rule number 1 of fine dining: never acknowledge a patron's emotional distress. Pretend you see nothing. Deliver the food, collect the payment, disappear. But she was a mother, and she recognized the specific quality of that grief. "Sir," she said softly, approaching the table. "Can I get you anything?" Fletcher Kensington looked up. Then for a moment he didn't see her at all. His eyes were somewhere else entirely. Then he blinked, and his expression hardened into something cold and controlled. "Water?" he said, his voice rough. "Room temperature, and the Wagyu ribeye. Rare." "I don't care about the sides." "Of course," Delilah said. She poured the water with steady hands, though her heart was hammering. "I'll put that order in immediately." As she turned to leave, his phone rang again. She heard him answer, heard him say, "I'm at the restaurant. I'll be there in 20 minutes. His voice cracked on the last word. Delilah walked to the kitchen, placed the order, and tried to shake the feeling that something terrible was happening at table 12. The meal came out perfectly. The steak was seared to a gorgeous crust, the interior ruby red. Delilah brought it out with the precision of a surgeon delivering a vital organ. Fletcher Kensington barely looked at it. He cut one piece, chewed mechanically, then pushed the plate away. His phone sat face down on the table. He kept checking his watch, A platinum Patek Philippe that probably cost more than Delilah's aging salon car. "Is everything all right with the meal, sir?" she asked. "It's fine," he said curtly. Then, after a pause, "Actually, can you bring me the check? I need to leave." Of course. Delilah processed the payment quickly. The meal came to $287. When she brought the bill folder back, Fletcher had already stood up, his phone pressed to his ear. He was speaking in low, urgent tones. "I don't care what the board says, Jeffrey. My son is in the ICU. I'm on my way to the hospital now. Move the meeting. Move everything." His son. Delilah's heart clenched. She set the bill folder down quietly and backed away, giving him privacy. Fletcher hung up, grabbed his coat, and walked toward the exit with long, purposeful strides. Delilah went to clear the table. That's when she saw the money. 10 $100 bills placed neatly beside the bill folder. For a $287 meal, even a generous tip would have been $50 or $60. $1,000 was absurd. It was a mistake. She looked toward the front entrance. Fletcher was already gone, the glass door still swinging slightly from his exit. Through the window, she saw him climb into a black Bentley. The car pulled away into the rainy Portland night. Delilah stared at the money. Her hand reached for it automatically. Habit, muscle memory. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button now, because what happens next will blow your mind. Providence Memorial Hospital rose like a fortress of glass and steel against the night sky. Delilah's beat-up Honda Civic coughed asthmatically as she pulled into the visitor parking lot. Rain drummed against the windshield, blurring the lights into watercolor smears. She clutched the envelope containing the $1,000. She had stopped at a gas station to put the bills inside, sealing it with shaking hands. Her logical brain screamed at her the entire drive. "You're a single mother with a sick child. You need this money. He won't even miss it." But her heart, the stubborn, foolish thing, wouldn't let her keep it. The ICU was on the 4th floor. When Delilah stepped off the elevator, she was hit by the smell. Antiseptic, fear, and the peculiar, sterile sadness of hospitals. A nurse's station sat like an island in the center of a hallway lined with rooms. Most had their curtains drawn. "Can I help you?" asked a nurse with kind eyes and exhausted posture. "I'm looking for Fletcher Kensington," Delilah said. "I have something of his. I need to return it." The nurse's expression shifted to something guarded. "Are you family?" "No, He was at my restaurant earlier. He left something behind. It's important." The nurse studied her for a long moment. "Mr. Kensington is with his son. I can't disturb them right now. The situation is very delicate." "I understand," Delilah said. "But this really is important. Could you at least let him know I'm here? My name is Delilah Crane. I'm from the Gilded Trout." The nurse hesitated, then nodded. "Wait here." Delilah sat in an uncomfortable plastic chair, clutching the envelope. Around her, the hospital hummed with quiet emergencies. A woman sobbed into a phone in Spanish. A doctor rushed past, shouting for an oar. An old man pushed and forepulled down the hallway, his gown hanging open in the back. 20 minutes passed. Then Fletcher Kensington appeared at the end of the hallway. He looked worse than he had at the restaurant. His shirt was untucked, his tie missing. His eyes were red-rimmed and hollow. He stared at Delilah like she was a ghost. "You?" he said, his voice hoarse from the restaurant. Delilah stood up, holding out the envelope. "You left this at your table? I thought you might need it." Fletcher looked at the envelope like he didn't understand what it was. Then recognition flashed across his face, followed by something that might have been disbelief. "You brought it back," he sighed slowly. "It wasn't mine to keep." Fletcher took the envelope, opened it, and stared at the bills inside. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he looked up at her, and the expression on his face was one of raw, unguarded shock. "Do you have any idea what most people would have done with this?" he asked quietly. "Kept it," Delilah admitted. "But it wasn't a tip. You were distracted. You made a mistake." "My son," Fletcher said, and his voice broke. "He was in a car accident. Head trauma. They're saying the next 48 hours are critical. Delilah's eyes filled with tears. "I'm so sorry." Fletcher stared at her. "You have a child." "I can tell." "A daughter. Iris. She's 7, and Yosil came here," he said, something like wonder in his voice. "In the middle of the night, to return money that could have." He stopped, shaking his head. "What's wrong with your daughter?" Delilah blinked at the sudden question. "She has leukemia. She's in treatment. The doctors say she's responding well." Bucci stopped, not wanting to burden this man with her problems. "Not now. Not when his son was fighting for his life." Fletcher looked down at the envelope in his hands. Then he looked back at Delilah, and something shifted in his expression. Something fundamental and irrevocable. "Come with me," he said. "What?" "Come with me. Please." Before Delilah could protest, Fletcher turned and walked down the hallway. After a moment's hesitation, she followed. He led her to a small family waiting room, empty except for a coffee machine that sputtered sadly in the corner. Fletcher sank into a chair and buried his face in his hands. "His name is Owen," he said, his voice muffled. "He's 16. He's brilliant and stubborn, and he wants to be an architect. Real buildings, not software. We had a fight this morning about his curfew. I told him he was being irresponsible. He stormed out, took his motorcycle, and now he couldn't finish." Delilah sat down across from him. "It's not your fault, isn't it?" Fletcher looked up and his eyes were devastated. "I was so focused on work, on board meetings and stock prices. I missed his soccer games. I missed his school plays. I was building an empire and losing my son, and now I might never get the chance to tell him I'm sorry." Delilah leaned forward. "Then you tell him. Right now, whether he can hear you or not. You'll tell him." Fletcher stared at her. "You don't understand. The doctors say." "I don't care what the doctors say," Delilah interrupted. "My daughter flatlined during her second round of chemo. They told me to prepare for the worst, but I sat next to her bed, and I talked to her for 6 hours straight. I told her about every birthday party we'd have, every Christmas morning, every first day of school. I made her promises, and she came back." Fletcher's expression crumbled. "I don't know if I'm strong enough." "You are," Delilah said firmly, "because you're his father. And that's what fathers do. They fight, even when it seems impossible." Fletcher looked at her for a long moment, and something passed between them. A recognition, a shared understanding of what it meant to love someone so much that their pain became your own. "Thank you," he whispered, "for bringing back the money. For coming here. For," he gestured helplessly, "for being human in a world where most people aren't." Delilah stood up. "Go be with your son, Mr. Kensington." "Fletcher," he said. "My name is Fletcher. Go be with Owen Fletcher." He nodded, standing. Then impulsively he grabbed the envelope and thrust it toward her. "Keep it, please. You came all this way." "Your daughter?" "No," Delilah said gently but firmly. "I didn't come here for money. I came here because it was the right thing to do." Fletcher stared at her, and in his eyes was something like awe. Then he did something unexpected. He pulled out his phone, typed rapidly, and showed her the screen. "That's my personal number," he said. "If you ever need anything at all, you call me. Primera mea, N, Italiano." Delilah looked at the number, then at Fletcher's face. She nodded slowly. "Okay. Promise me," Fletcher said urgently. "Promise me you'll call if you need help." "I promise." Fletcher nodded, slipping his phone back into his pocket. Then he walked toward the ICU, his steps heavy but determined. Delilah stood alone in the waiting room, her hands empty, her heart full of something she couldn't quite name. She left the hospital and drove home through the rain, second-guessing herself with every mile. She had just walked away from $1,000. $1,000 that could have changed everything. But when she got home and climbed into bed next to Iris, feeling her daughter's steady breathing against her chest, she knew she had made the right choice. Some things were more valuable than money. You might think Delilah just threw away her only lifeline. But stay with me, because the universe is about to reward her sacrifice in a way she never saw coming. You won't Fletcher's next actions. 3 days later, Delilah was halfway through her evening shift when Gordon approached her, his expression sour. "There's a man here to see you," he said, as if the very idea offended him. "To see me?" Delilah frowned.
Who?
"Says his name is Fletcher Kensington. He insists on speaking with you immediately." "I tried to tell him you were working, but apparently billionaires don't take no for an answer." Delilah's heart lurched. She put down the tray of drinks she'd been carrying and walked toward the entrance. Fletcher stood near the hostess stand, looking completely out of place in his three-piece suit. But his face was transformed. The haunted look was gone, replaced by something that looked almost like joy. "Owen woke up," he said the moment he saw her. "This morning. He's awake. He's talking. The doctors say he's going to make a full recovery." Delilah's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God, that's wonderful. I told him about you," Fletcher continued, his words tumbling out in a rush. "About what you did, about how you brought back the money," he said. Fletcher's voice caught. He said it was the most decent thing he'd ever heard. "He wants to meet you." "He does. We both do. Properly. I mean, not in a hospital waiting room at midnight." Fletcher glanced around the restaurant, at Gordon hovering disapprovingly nearby, at the wealthy patrons pretending not to stare. "Can you take a break, please? I need to talk to you." Delilah looked at Gordon. "Can I?" 5 minutes, Gordon snapped, and not a second more. They walked outside into the cool evening air. The sun was setting, painting the Portland skyline in shades of orange and pink. "I've been thinking about you constantly." Fletcher sighed. "About what you did. Most people would have kept that money. Hell, most people would have been justified in keeping it. You're a single mother with a sick child. You're drowning in medical bills. But you didn't keep it. Why?" Delilah wrapped her arms around herself. "Because you needed it more than I did." "I didn't need it," Fletcher sighed. $1,000 is nothing to me. But your integrity? That's priceless. Do you know how rare that is? I've spent 20 years in business, surrounded by people who would sell their own grandmother for a percentage point. And here you are, working double shifts for minimum wage plus tips. And you have more honor than all of them combined." Delilah felt her cheeks flush. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," Fletcher said firmly. "You didn't? And that matters. It matters more than you know." He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Delilah's stomach sank. "If that's money," she started. "It's not," Fletcher interrupted. "It's a job offer." Delilah blinked. "What?" "I need someone I can trust." Fletcher sighed. "My company is worth billions, but I'm surrounded by people whose loyalty extends exactly as far as their stock options. I need someone who actually has principles. Someone who would chase a stranger across town to return money they desperately needed. Someone like you." "Mr. Kensington Fletcher, I don't have any business experience. I've worked in restaurants my whole life. I don't need business experience. I need character, intelligence, the ability to see what others miss." He held out the envelope. "This is an offer to be my executive assistant. The salary is $120,000 a year. Full health benefits, including private medical coverage for your daughter. And you'd work for my office, which has an on-site childcare facility for employees' children." Delilah took the envelope with shaking hands. She opened it and saw the offer letter, official and real and completely impossible. "I can't," she whispered. "Why not?" "Because I'm nobody. I'm a waitress from—" "You're somebody who did the right thing when it costs you everything," Fletcher interrupted. "That makes you somebody in my book. Probably the only person I can actually trust." Tears pricked Delilah's eyes. "Why are you doing this?" Fletcher's expression softened. "Because 3 nights ago, I was sitting in that hospital room, convinced I had lost everything that mattered. And a woman he'd never met before came and reminded me that goodness still exists in the world. You gave me hope, Delilah. The least I can do is give you a chance." Delilah looked down at the letter. $120,000. Private medical coverage. A child care facility. It was a life raft thrown to a drowning woman. But there was something else in Fletcher's eyes. Something that made her hesitate. Gratitude, yes, but also something deeper. Something that looked like the beginning of trust. Can I think about it? She asked. Of course, Fletcher said. But not for too long. I have a board meeting next week, and I'd like you there, if you're willing. Delilah folded the letter and slipped it back into the envelope. I'll let you know tomorrow. Fletcher nodded. Then, impulsively, he reached out and took her hand. Thank you, he said quietly, for everything. His hand was warm, steady. Delilah squeezed it once, then let go. Go home to Owen, she said. He needs you, Fletcher smiled. A real smile that reached his eyes. He does, but so do I need good people. He walked back to his Bentley, and Delilah watched him drive away, the envelope burning like fire in her pocket. Inside the restaurant, Corday was glaring at his watch. Delilah ignored him and walked to the bathroom, locked herself in a stall, and read the offer letter 3 more times. Then she pulled out her phone and called Mrs. Kowalski. Can you watch Iris tomorrow morning? She asked. I have a very important meeting. Delilah gave her notice at the Gilded Trout the next day. Gordon accepted it with barely concealed glee, clearly thrilled to be rid of a waitress who had the audacity to take personal phone calls from billionaires. Her first day at Kensington Innovations was terrifying. The office occupied 3 floors of a glass tower in downtown Portland. Everything was chrome and minimalism, populated by people in expensive suits who moved with the confidence of those who had never worried about rent. Delilah wore her only professional outfit, a navy pantsuit from Target that she'd bought for Iris' custody hearing 2 years ago. She felt like an imposter, a waitress playing dress-up. Fletcher's assistant, a sharp-eyed woman named Bryn, met her at reception. Mr. Kensington is expecting you, she said, her tone neutral but assessing. Follow me. Fletcher's office was on the top floor. Floor 2, ceiling windows overlooking the city. He stood when she entered, and his face broke into a genuine smile. You came, he said. I said I would. People say a lot of things. Fletcher gestured to a chair. How's Iris? Excited about the childcare facility. She's downstairs right now, probably teaching the other kids how to play checkers. Fletcher smiled. Good. That's good. He became more serious. I want to be clear about something, Delilah. This isn't charity. I'm not hiring you because I feel sorry for you. I'm hiring you because I need you. This company is successful, but it's rotten in places. People stealing, lying, manipulating. I need someone I can trust to help me find the rot and cut it out. Delilah nodded slowly. What do you need me to do? For now, watch, listen, learn. I want you in every meeting, every negotiation, every dinner with investors. I want you to observe the way people interact when they think no one important is watching. You spent years as a waitress. You know how to be invisible. That's a skill most executives never develop. You want me to spy, Delilah said. I want you to notice, Fletcher corrected. There's a difference. I'm not asking you to sabotage anyone. I'm asking you to help me see the truth. Delilah thought about it. Then she nodded. Okay, I can do that. Fletcher's shoulders relaxed slightly. Good. Now let's start with the basics. Bryn will get you set up with a computer, email, security badge. This week is mostly orientation. Next week, the real work begins. The real work began with a board meeting. Delilah sat in a corner of the conference room, a notebook in her lap, trying to look like she belonged. Around the massive table sat 12 people, executives, investors, board members, all of them polished and powerful. Fletcher sat at the head, his expression unreadable. Let's begin, he said. First item, the Q3 projections. Malcolm, you're up. A heavy-set man with a red face stood and clicked through a presentation. Numbers, graphs, projections. Delilah hit spoon, trying to follow it all, but she noticed something else. When Malcolm presented the revenue figures, he avoided eye contact with Fletcher. His hand shook slightly as he advanced the slides, and the woman sitting across from him, a severe-looking executive named Vivi, smirked every time Malcolm stumbled over his words. After the meeting, Fletcher pulled Delilah aside. What did you see? Malcolm is nervous, more nervous than the numbers warrant. and Vivian enjoyed watching him struggle. Fletcher's eyes sharpened. Good. What else? The projections don't match the quarterly report you showed me yesterday. Malcolm's numbers are inflated by about 12%. Fletcher went very still. Are you sure? I'm good with numbers, Delilah said quietly. It's how I survived as a single mom. Every penny counted. Malcolm's hiding something. Fletcher stared at her. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. Get me the raw data for Q3. Everything I wanted on my desk in an hour. 2 hours later, Fletcher called Delilah back to his office. His expression was grim. You were right. Malcolm's been cooking the books. Small adjustments spread across multiple divisions. Enough to make his performance look better than it is. He's been doing it for months. Why? Delilah asked. His contract comes up for renewal next month. Higher projections mean a bigger bonus. He was willing to lie to the board for personal gain. Fletcher's jaw clenched. He's fired, effective immediately. Delilah felt a chill. She had just ended a man's career. Are you sure? Maybe he made a mistake. Fletcher finished. No. This was deliberate. This was theft. And if I let it slide, it sends a message to everyone else. The line is acceptable. He looked at her. You did the right thing, Delilah. Don't doubt that. But as she left his office, Delilah couldn't shake the feeling that she had crossed a line. She wasn't a waitress anymore. She was something else. Something with power. And power, she was learning, came with a cost. Delilah just ended a man's career with one observation. She's no longer invisible, and that's about to make her a target. What happens next will force her to question her belief about right and wrong.